Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I'm Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you tonight to wrap up your week is, honestly, you can't make it up. There's a Democratic state legislature member who just said that women should not have firearms because they are too stupid to figure out how safeties work, which means they will obviously only provide the gun to hurt themselves. I'm about to show you. Everything is linked. This happened in Minnesota. Now, of course, guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. Please send this to everyone you know, particularly the ladies in the audience and the ladies who are acquaintances of anyone who watches this, because this is what they are doing to you. The party that goes around decrying the patriarchy, saying that men are bad because all they want to do is do XYZ to women and keep them down, and pay gap and gender gap and meanie pants patriarchy. It's a big, huge platform of theirs. The Democratic rep you're about to hear genuinely just said, I don't think that women should be able to have the exemptions from their gun control laws because they can't figure out safeties. But don't worry, I hunt. Enough setup. Let's just get it, because the hypocrisy is incredible. It's also a little insulting.
Been a hunter, had a gun, have had firearms in my home for about 30 years now. Kind of dates me a little bit, but and I tell you that every single time that I use my firearm, I have to actually remember to train myself to say, where's my safety, and to take my safety off. So as Representative Schultz says, when seconds matter, I would not have saved myself, because every single time repracticing taking off that safety in order to shoot my firearm safely actually takes me multiple seconds.
Just to fully crystallize this for you, this is a debate about whether women should be allowed as experts to be exempted from gun control laws they're trying to pass. This is the argument that she's making, but don't worry, she hunts. If you guys are in the gun world for a while, you know the comical nature of that, because that's what all gun controllers say. Now, let's get back to this whole point. I would like to draw a juxtaposition between the people who would be considered toxically male, or the patriarchy, from these very people, are advocating for women to have the rights for guns to defend themselves from horrible situations like stalking or domestic violence. Meanwhile, the people who profess to be the champions of women are saying they are too stupid to figure out how a safety works, and they can't overcome those obstacles with training, and they're more likely to end up hurting themselves because they brought a gun involved, and therefore you're more likely to get hurt. That's what's happening right now. Gun controllers say, no, women bad, don't do that, trust us, we'll take care of you. Gun rights activists are over here going, no, you have a right, why don't you get trained and be proficient and you'll be safer. Who's the champion and advocate of women? Go team women. You want to get a gun? Good. Please train with it. Be responsible with it. Just like I would ask men. The stupidity of this is, when seconds count, lives are on the line. That's what she's trying to go for. But because it takes a few seconds to remember to switch off a safety. Good job, Democrat in Minnesota. Let's continue. I have got one more for you guys. You cannot make these things up. Oh, goodness, this woman is a certain kind of special.
Teach us in firearm training. I've been through multiple ones because I've gone through hunter safety, my conceal and carry. I've done a number of these things. And I asked the instructor, I said, how come every time I use my gun, there's this little knot in my stomach that I feel scared to use my gun? And he said, that is very normal. And I said, well, when will that knot go away? And he said, you have to practice. You have to shoot at least 1,000 rounds in your initial training, and then do 100 rounds per month in order to maintain proficiency. I started adding up all the times I've actually used my gun. I don't think in my lifetime I've shot 1,000 rounds. And so if I am somebody who is in danger, who is afraid for my life, my firearm is not going to save me. And like Representative Pinto said, people with firearms in their homes are more likely to get hurt themselves. That if seconds matter, and if I am afraid, I will very likely not be able to effectively use my firearm, and that firearm will get used against me.
The Democratic rep in Minnesota, this is an actual talking point because it had little itty-bitty splices of the national gun control arguments in here. Women are more likely to be in danger and in harmed when there's a gun present that they brought into it. More likely. And there's no proven fact of that. It's just more likely. It's conjecture. But the reason why is because even if they could get to their gun, and even if it wasn't being safely stored, like with the requirement, they're negotiating this amendment right now around safe storage laws, even if she could get to the gun, she simply can't be trained enough, and she can't figure out how to turn the safety off, and seconds do matter, so therefore the gun would be taken for her, and then the more capable man would disengage that safety, and now she could be harmed. Therefore, safe storage laws, mandatory gun control, we're saving the women everywhere. Isn't it great? Sarcasm, of course. But again, I want to bring to the point here, this is the juxtaposition. Gun rights advocates, be empowered, have your Second Amendment right, get trained, be proficient, and feel protected and self-reliant. Gun controllers, you can't do that because we need to have a waiting period. You can't do that. We got to have a safe storage law because you aren't trained enough, because if you don't have enough training, then you won't know how to disengage a safety and then you'll die. And don't worry, the state will take care of you because safe storage laws are all the answer. And mandatory waiting periods for anybody who's being stalked or has domestic violence issues. Which side of these here are more pro-women and pro-freedom? Like, which one's pro and con? And that's the big point here. The Democrats talk a big game about being pro-women and being pro-women empowerment and being hoorah, go girls. But at the end of the day, all of their policies completely affect them in a negative manner because they want control. Control supersedes empowerment. Meanwhile, gun rights advocates are like, yeah, no, stack up, rack up, let's go. By the way, 100 rounds in a weekend, I go through 100 rounds in about an hour, and I'm being slow and methodical. Anyway, this is who they are, people. They'll always tell you. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.